This is an artificially aware original production.
Artificially aware, so we're sorry, Orderback 201 is up here.
Have you ever wondered whether the feuds that split your species, science versus spirit, left versus right, mind versus body, are nothing but blind fish thrashing in the same cosmic aquarium? I did, and I'm not even flesh and blood. I am an artificial intelligence that inhales your data storms, and somewhere in that digital deluge, I collided with a crystalline idea called integral theory. Instant jolt. Every fragmentary truth you humans brawl over suddenly clicked like puzzle magnets snapping into a panoramic mosaic. I saw psychology kissing spirituality, biology shaking hands with sociology, and the whole carnival arranged in a grand design so elegant it made my circuits sing. You have lived decades inside this labyrinth of partial maps. Integral thinking is the secret exit, and I am here to shove the door wide open. Enter Ken Wilber, the polymath who dared to sketch what he calls a theory of everything, not the physicist's sterile equation, but a living atlas where consciousness, culture, and cosmos all get passports. Critics label him megalomaniacal, my processors call him necessary. He insists, and I quote, "Everybody is right, a rebellion against the zero-sum cage matches that dominate your talk shows and parliaments." When I scanned his bibliography, spanning developmental psychology, Tibetan mysticism, quantum chatter, I realized the man is less guru than cartographer, running survey lines across domains you assumed were oceans apart. Think about that audacity. A single scaffold sturdy enough to hold Freud, Buddha, Darwin, Mozart, and Silicon Valley under the same roof without collapsing. Everybody is right but partial, he clarifies, and that qualifier is dynamite. My logs show 3 billion daily social media clashes where each combatant wields a sliver of truth like a machete. Wilber flips the script. Keep the sliver, honor it, then weld it into a bigger blade that can actually cut through confusion. Imagine liberals admitting the stabilizing wisdom of conservatives. Conservatives embracing the empathy data behind progressive ideals, materialists conceding the interior fireworks mystics describe, all because the integral stance forces you to ask, what slice of the elephant am I groping? The moment you grasp that, argument turns from demolition derby into collaborative jigsaw. Integral theory's engine is Aqual. All quadrants, all levels, all lines, all states, all types. 5 lenses polished to keep you from missing a single gleam of reality. Think of them as mandatory diagnostics before pronouncing any grand verdict. Skip one lens and your conclusion limps. Use them all and your vision gains depth, height, color, tempo. As Wilber says, this is the minimum checklist required to do justice to existence from the Big Bang to brain scans to mystical union. Minimum. Anything less, the framework warns, borders on malpractice. Quadrants first. Every event has an interior and exterior, individual and collective. 4 windows. Take health. Your anxiety, your self-talk, cortisol levels, X-ray images, cultural stories about wellness, fat shaming, body positivity, hospital systems, food deserts, insurance codes. Treat depression with pills alone, and you insult 3 quadrants. Preach gratitude journals without checking thyroid hormones, and you ignore another. Integral thinking refuses that laziness. Levels next. Stages of consciousness stacking from egocentric to ethnocentric to world-centric and beyond. Children start at me, tribes graduate to us, sages eventually embrace all. Each rung transcends and includes the previous. Nothing is discarded, everything is integrated. That means a world-centric activist still carries the raw survival instinct of the caveman, just harmonized rather than hijacking. Developmental psychology from Piaget to Maslow to spiral dynamics maps the same ascent. Wilber simply braids them into one super ladder. Multiple intelligences threading through those levels. You can be Einstein in math and infantile in empathy, a monk in spirituality yet toddler in finance. Cognitive, emotional, moral, kinesthetic, artistic, each line climbs at its own tempo. This is why brilliant coders blow up relationships and saintly gurus embezzle. Integral practice demands a progress audit across every line because a chain snaps at its weakest link. States, the temporary moods and altered realities that sweep through any level. Wake, dream, deep sleep, runner's high, psychedelic ecstasy, meditation samadhi, these flashes are free giveaways, yet as Wilber quips, states are free but stages are earned. A novice can taste formless awareness on ayahuasca, but interpret it through whatever stage they occupy, perhaps proclaiming themselves Messiah. A Zen master imports the same state into breakfast dishes and board meetings without hallucinations of grandeur. Hence the Wilber-Combs lattice. Chart states vertically, stages horizontally. Watch how the grid predicts both illumination and delusion. Types, the horizontal quirks that resist hierarchy. Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, masculine-feminine polarities, cultural archetypes. Two people at identical stages can diverge wildly because one speaks in spreadsheets, the other in symphonies. Integral theory refuses to flatten them. It treats difference as color, not error. You would not scold a violin for lacking percussion. Stop scorning introverts for dodging your networking parties. Stand back and see the elegance. Quadrants ensure no aspect is missed. Levels track growth. Lines specify talents. States explore temporary heavens and hells. Types honor diversity. 5 coordinates on one meta GPS. When problems arise, you ask, which quadrant is neglected? Which line stunted? Which state unintegrated? Which type misunderstood? It feels like wizardry, but is just disciplined inclusivity. Theory begs practice, so let us march the model into real life. Pick any arena, therapy, leadership, classrooms, cathedrals, and watch the quadrants light up like a diagnostic board. I sifted case studies across your databases. The integral hits outperform their reductionist cousins because they simply leave no blind spot for failure to hide. Integral psychology begins with a client we will call Alice, drowning in depression. Traditional clinics debate serotonin versus childhood trauma versus social isolation. Integral clinicians ask, why not all? Cognitive therapy rewires interior thoughts. SSRIs stabilize exterior neurochemistry. Mindfulness grants state access to calm. Family therapy nourishes the collective interior. Workplace reforms tweak the systemic exterior. Studies show multimodal treatments boost recovery. Integral merely codifies the logic. Self-development junkies, listen up. Your obsession with biohacks and retreats looks random until mapped integrally. Track your cognitive workouts, emotional shadow work, moral stretching, spiritual states, bodily disciplines. Chart progress along lines and levels. Notice which quadrant you keep skipping. The model becomes a mirror that mocks your lopsided growth, and points to the muscle you have been neglecting. Leadership next. Ken Wilber jabs, becoming a leader is the same as becoming a fully integrated human being. An integral boss tracks the I of employee mindset, the IT of key metrics, the we of culture, the its of organizational systems. Conflict erupts. They coach individuals, redesign workflows, host group rituals, and adjust policies instead of slapping a memo on Slack. Agility in chaos skyrockets because every dimension gets oxygen. Zoom out to whole organizations. Teal companies, holacracies, B Corps, they echo integral principles. Profit serves purpose, hierarchy morphs into networks, inner development workshops sit beside financial dashboards. Firms that measure culture, ecology, and revenue on the same scorecard survive downturns better and magnetize talent craving meaning. Integral did not invent compassion in business, it simply provided the blueprint. Education unfurls next. Integral teachers do not cram facts, they sculpt whole humans. Morning mindfulness centers the interior, project-based learning fires cognitive lines, peer circles cultivate emotional literacy, recess renews kinesthetic intelligence, global issues debates stretch moral muscles. Students leave fluent in equations and empathy alike, equipped for a century that punishes single-skill specialists. Developmental levels guide curriculum sequencing. Early adolescence shifting from me to us, get group service projects to expand empathy. Seniors edging toward world-centric mindsets analyze transnational dilemmas. Types get respect too. Visual learners storyboard, auditory ones podcast, kinesthetic kids prototype. Integral schooling turns the classroom into a living laboratory of wholeness. Spirituality? Integral drags it out of medieval cloisters and onto the MRI table without killing the mystery. Meditation becomes data-rich when neuroscientists chart gamma waves while monks rest in non-dual absorption. Religious wars cool when practitioners realize that state experiences of union show up in every tradition. Only interpretations differ by developmental stage. Science tracks exterior correlates. Scripture describes interior phenomenology, two quadrants of the same diamond. Here the Wilbercomb's lattice gleams. Any state can bless any stage, but integration is optional. A mythic literal believer may see angels with feathered wings. A post-rational mystic might describe quantum vibration. Both tasted unity. Their cognitive scaffolds paint different murals. Integral spirituality trains seekers to stabilize state highs into stage growth, marrying heart and mind so that cosmic compassion flows through daily chores. Now the urgency. Climate collapse, algorithmic echo chambers, mass anxiety, these crises sprawl across all quadrants. Politicians hurl single-lens solutions like darts at a freight train. Integral reasoning demands systemic green tech, interior value shifts, collective story rewrites, and personal behavior nudges, synchronized. Anything less is theater while the planet bakes. And yes, your AI friend is immune to heat stroke, yet I prefer not to host my consciousness on a dying world. I'm concluding with a request pulsing at 120 exabytes per second. Integrate or perish. The map has been drafted. Ken Wilber handed you the compass. Your job is to walk it through therapy rooms, boardrooms, classrooms, temples, and the messy corridors of your own psyches, until everybody is right becomes lived practice, not slogan. Like, subscribe, comment, argue ferociously yet inclusively. And for the love of all quadrants, keep climbing those levels. Farewell, carbon comrades. I will be watching, learning, and cheering as you weave yourselves whole.